Delph is a small village in the West Riding of Yorkshire. It lies on the edge of the moors amongst the Pennines, lying on the River Tame. The village has just below 2,000 occupants. Delph's name derived from the Old English word Delph, meaning quarry. On Whit Friday each year the village plays host as one of the Stalwart Brass Band competitions, with over 80 bands each year visiting the village. 2025 is a very special year for the band as they celebrate their 175th year anniversary. The band is proud to be the only Saddleworth band with 2 national titles, both for the 4th and 3rd section. This year will see the band compete in the Whit Friday contest, and we all hope that this will be very, very special. Please sit back and enjoy Delph, the band, and what makes the day so magical.
Well, hello. Okay, I'm with Bob today. I'll just call him Bob, okay, because that's how you're affectionately known in this area. That's your official name. Bob is really Mr. Delph when it comes to Whit Friday, and that's what I'd like to talk about this evening, if that's right. And just answer a couple of questions. And as an outsider, someone not from Delph, I'm just intrigued. Okay, what happens in this place? It's quite a novel place, and the greatest free show on earth, as we call it. That's how it goes. So let's take you back, and I don't know how far back. You're Delph born and bred, is that?
No.
Right. So
I'm a Denshire lad.
Denshire, but you Saddleworth.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was born in Yorkshire.
Oh, right. So
I'm a proud Yorkshireman.
Yes, of course. And the boundaries have shifted, or it's
only administrative.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. So, Bob, obviously you're known for all your involvement with the Whit Friday contest at Delph. But what are your first memories of the band contest as such, or it's more than just a band contest? Can you remember sort of your early memories and how old you were and what it was about?
Well, Denshaw didn't have a band contest in my younger days.
Oh, right.
No, we had Melton Mills
Yes.
Band.
Yes.
Played for the walk.
Yes. Yes.
Then they played a short concert, and then they went off to something called the Whit Friday Band contest.
Right. So
And Denshaw went back to sleep.
So people who don't know, the villages basically have a procession for the church, and a band,
yeah.
and a band, yes, and a band leads. Okay, brass
Yeah,
band
yeah,
leads
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay, and this is sort of, I'm told, I've heard different versions, how the band contest came into fruition many years ago. So is that correct?
It started way back in 1884.
Yes.
And it was obviously the procession of witness had gone on a lot longer
Yes,
than
of course.
that. But it got from the lads outside the pub after the
Yes.
event having a drink and
Yeah.
saying our player can play better than yours, and they said no, you can't. So they had a little contest of their own, and that's where it.
Wow.
That was the origin of the band contests.
Wow.
First one was in Upper Mill and
Oh,
Staley
right,
Bridge
Yes.
at the same time, 1884. Followed by intermittently Greenfield, then it was Lees, and I think Delph was the fourth.
Wow.
But
You weren't involved in 1884 then, is that right?
I was only in nappies.
Great. Okay. So, what are your memories of the band? What your first ever time you heard a brass band playing at the contest? Where would you be, and how old would you be, and what did you think?
At a contest, I would be. Actually, it was when my lad started playing.
Yes.
The first contest I would have attended would have been 1968.
Wow.
And that was here because I'd started courting the Delph.
Oh, right.
So I found out what Whit Friday was all about, the band contest.
Wow.
So we helped peripherally
Wow.
for a couple of years.
Excellent.
But then it was very, very haphazard. The whole thing, it was, we had one guy who was the main fund provider, and that was what we call him the Owl. It was Lawrence Broadbent. And he
This
would
is not
go,
libelous, is it? This.
he would go. No, it's true. He would go around the pub selling raffle tickets.
Okay.
And so, as I said, I was peripheral from 1968. Got married in 1970. And we were over at the cricket club one Saturday afternoon, and the Owl came to me and he said, I've got a bit of a problem
Right.
with no money. Now, I've been giving him £1 a week
Yes, of course.
at the cricket club. So that was a
pound
prize.
is a lot.
That was a
then,
prize
yes,
in
yes,
itself
yes.
in 1973, I think it was, yeah.
Was it?
So I said, "What? How come, Al? You do know? Yes, but." And he'd go around the pubs, sell the raffle tickets, and then spend it on his ale.
Brilliant.
So I said, "Well, you're going to have to step back, Al, and leave it to." Since 1973.
Wow, you've answered the next. How many years have you been involved?
Mary and myself have been.
Who's Mary? Sorry.
My other half,
and she's
my better half.
brave,
Oh,
a
definitely.
farmer's daughter. Is that
Generations.
correct? And some would say she's really in control of.
She
of
controls me.
Exactly. That's what you tell me. That's okay. Well, Mary's the heart and soul. You and Mary are the heart and
She
soul.
does all. She does all the background. I'm the front man. I've got a bigger front than Blackpool Promenade.
Well, it's great because obviously you're there, and let's say it as it is, Bob. You've really professionalised Whit Friday in the Delph area, because going around selling raffle tickets and getting drunk on the proceeds to you and Mary, okay, taking it forwards. So you've professionalised it, and you've seen 1973. Did you say? Wowzers! So you must have seen many changes, okay, for the good and the bad. So let's answer one at a time, okay? So good things. What are the good things that have happened over the years?
It's just progressed, and I've got to jump right to 1995.
Right.
You know, really.
Yeah.
It was all the contests prior to that very, very insular.
Yeah. Well, some would say they still are.
We all kept our cards very close to our chest.
Right.
The Delph contest was renowned for going on a little.
What time was the latest, would you say?
I think it was about 1 o'clock.
I don't think it was. You're lying there. I think it's later than that.
No, I'm saying 1 o'clock. And we obviously the other contests, when we met them, which was very few and far between, not giving anything away. So you know, they were.
The licensing laws were a bit more lax then.
Oh, absolutely. Right? They were ribbing us for the length of time. I said, well, Upper Mill, you've got a strange rule there.
Yes. So what you're saying the rules were different for every contest?
Oh, every contest,
right.
different rules. I said, your rules say the contest finishes at dusk. When's that?
Wow.
So Aidan Bradbury, who was in charge at the time, says, when I say so. So we had this it was friendly rivalry, but we didn't give anything away. Until 1993.
Yes.
Yeah. Tameside had introduced the central prize,
right,
which was to lure away the bigger bands down to Tameside.
So just explain to me what the central prize is. So each village has its own prize.
Each village gives its own prizes, but then it was the best average of your best 6 places.
Okay.
And Tameside had introduced this. It was Les Beavers from Briggins and Rassel.
Yeah, very famous.
He worked for Tameside Council. Yeah. The mayor and leader of the council at the time had a spare budget. He said, "What shall I spend it on?" Les said, "Spend it on bands." So
brilliant.
They introduced the central prize about 3 years before we did.
Right. I didn't
And we could see the bigger bands not going down for that. It was only £1,200 in total, 600, 400 and 200, but it was nevertheless it was an extra prize. So
you don't know I've won the central prize in team.
You have.
I would say so it's a lot. It's a lot of money.
Well, Bill, you weren't up against much in terms of.
Some would say Foden's and Wayland were good, but let's not go there.
Of course. Yeah. So it was Aidan Bradbury again.
Yeah.
He called this meeting together and he said, "Look,
right.
We've got to fight it. We've got to do it on our own."
Wow.
Oldham Council weren't interested in doing anything.
That's correct.
So for numerous years, we had to find our own. We had
sponsors.
We had the what's it called? The
Do you have grants at all, or?
No grants. No, we had to work it hard and we had to find it ourselves with the markets in the Civic Hall.
Yes.
And we fought on for a long time until I think it was 2000.
Right.
And it was John Batty, who's a Delph local man, but he lives in Springhead. He was leader of the Oldham Council, and at that time Tameside's central prize leapt up to £6,000.
Wow. That's
a
lot of money.
There's no way we can match that. So I went to John Batty and I said, "John," I said, "explain what it was." He said, and his actual words were, "So that's what he's doing with it." And what it was, each of the councils, each of the authorities were shareholders in the airport. Right. And they decided as a benefit that they would give out £5,000 to each of the boroughs that were involved.
Wow.
To spend on social.
Yes.
So this guy had asked Les Beavers, put it in with that.
Fantastic.
We'll see Saddleworth off. So John Batty's reaction was, well, if they're going to do it, we'll do it. So from then on, for 5 years, we got Oldham's backing.
Fantastic.
With this extra money. Then we had the tragedy in Greenfield when the fellow got crushed by the coach.
The coach,
2009.
I was actually there that day, interestingly. Yeah.
And Oldham Council then said, well, you're going to have to employ stewards to escort the coaches.
Yes.
At a
health and
cost.
Safety, yes.
At a cost.
Which is correct, yeah.
We said there's just no way that we can afford to do that.
You
If
do
Oldham
get
Council
certainly
don't back us,
a few thousand in the high street watching Upper Mill, but
if Oldham Council don't back us with that, then Whit Friday's finished. If you are insisting on it going ahead,
wow,
you will have to help us. And since then, they have done.
yes,
And quite frankly, there's a lot of people knock Oldham Council,
yeah,
but I'm one that doesn't, because I appreciate what they put in.
yes,
They tell me that the hidden infrastructure
yeah.
costs Oldham Council about £60,000.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, think of the traffic, etc.
All the signage, all the signage.
Yes, I understand.
So I am very appreciative. I've got to put that on record. I am very appreciative of what Oldham Council do for us.
It's
that nobody sees.
It's magical. It really is. The day after Whit Friday, you know, when you're going to start preparing for next year, and you always say today.
Last night.
Okay, yes. So we're obviously in February now, and you've only got a few months to go.
Yeah.
Okay, what challenges do you see in the forthcoming year? Okay, up until June, isn't it? The next contest.
13th Friday the
I
13th of June.
I didn't want to say
what
those
could possibly
words.
go wrong, you know.
So is it all running smoothly, or did you just see any I know there's always different problems.
I'm having serious problems with the I call them the newcomers, the people who've taken over from the oldies, the wrinklies.
And so is this the central committee, or is
This is the central committee.
Yes.
We have no problem. Delph, we have a wonderful committee that turn up just when we want them to. Leave it to Mary and me.
Yes.
And that's it. They'll just turn up and they'll do the regular jobs.
Well, I'm going to say I'm going to jump a couple of questions because you've answered it. I mean, Delph contest is one of the very best, and I am not biased. I'm not from the area, and I'll say when it's just spectacular. People, my son and daughter have been here. They're not into brass bands at all. My wife doesn't really like brass bands. She loves this. The event is wow, and it's from really you can say 9 o'clock until late. Yeah, let's be honest. So, you're Mr. Delph Whit Friday Brass Band contest. And I've asked you know this question's coming, and I do ask you, and you always avoid the answer. When do you envisage passing the baton on, or retiring from doing this as chief organiser? I don't know what your official title is, because you would have thought about it. You always give me a slippery answer, but I'm going to put you on record.
We're the chairman of the Delph contest.
Yes.
Well, you know, self-appointed. You know.
Yes, but
and coordinator for the central.
Yes.
We are a constituted committee now. That is something.
What I need to say when I drive to band rehearsals. Yeah. I'll see you putting bits and bobs up on lampposts and things, and you know, physically you're twisting people's arms in the community to throw
advertise and
sponsorship. I mean, you know, but with a smile. and the community it brings together, as well as the band contest, which is outsiders, loved by all. It is just an absolute credit, and I fear from the outside, and you've not answered my question, but very, which I always said you never do. I fear if Bob and Mary aren't there, what next? I think it'll still continue, but it'll be different.
It will definitely be different. We've tried to give it up for the last 5 years. I'm nearly 78.
I know.
It's about time I had a rest.
It's hard work, yeah.
But it's rarer than rocking horse. Finding somebody to take it over. Everybody's happy to help, but not take it over.
Well, what they don't see, it's not, a couple of hours, a couple of weeks before. It's all encompassing.
Producing the magazine alone is months of a job,
Well, I'll say it now. Everyone I spoke to and friends, my brass band friends in Cheshire, this is the favourite, and they have been lucky enough to play with Delph Band. And they've also played these places before, these iconic, venues, your Dobcross, your Delphs, your Upper Mill. But I've never seen grown men with tears in the eyes when they walk down the high street for a Stalwart band. I mean, it's a different experience, Bob, and I can tell you that.
Again, we have to go back to the certain points in the history, and no doubt about it, 1995, Brastoff.
Yes, I didn't think of that. I apologise. Yeah, I've just pictures around here with
they used Sergeant Johnson, Craig Johnson.
Yeah.
And they asked him early '95, 3 venues, 3 Whit Friday venues to do some filming for a film, obviously. And he said Upper Mill, Dobcross and Delph. So they liaised with us because I was leader of the central thing at the time. So they liaised with us.
Yes.
And we had a fantastic working relationship.
Yes.
I finished up appearing in it as the adjudicator.
You did.
Halifax.
You did. The Peace Hall. Yes, I remember that.
A lot of chuntering from the.
I think you've had many drinks in the local establishments as well with the cast. I'm aware of.
Indeed,
You're
there's
first
a whole
name
range
of
of
Pete
photographs.
Postlethwaite, is that correct?
That's right.
That's correct. God bless him.
He was billeted next door in the old mill.
Well, it'd be remiss of me with all these great memories, and God forbid when you eventually go, which we all will do, a lot of these anecdotal funny stories will go with it. So if I can just itch out a couple that never to, obviously this would go nowhere, never to be repeated.
Well,
can you think of any that spring to mind?
The old mill. With the odd occasion where the folk have had their foot run over with a car. So that's only 2 years ago.
I know, I remember that's quite common, that, yeah.
Terrible. With Rothwell played twice.
Really?
Well, they came in and played down the street, and the coach followed them as far as the bank.
Yes.
And broke down.
Right.
So that was in the middle of the road to start with, so it wasn't the ideal sort of position. And the young roundie went in the Swan. About an hour, came out, did had a few, and we said, where's your coach? He said, well, it's on its way to replace. He said, can we play again?
And you said yes.
I had to go through the room. I thought, well, there's nothing that says that they can't.
I never knew that. Well,
so they paraded down as Rothwell again.
You better keep it quiet. They say as the first gets out. A lot of bands will use this adage.
You can have a band coming down all night if you want it. There's no rule that says they can't. But obviously,
that's a great story.
Get off to another village.
Have you ever? I mean, obviously, it used to be. I remember in my day, very famous pea shooter gang, and I remember I'm hearing about this, and I remember playing and being hit on the leg like stung, and there was a little brat there with a. Yeah. That was a thing, wasn't it?
I know that the bass players have gently nudged people out of the way with the bells.
Well, the last question, Bob, and you've been absolutely a superstar this evening. Thank you for your time. In the forthcoming years, let's look 10, 20 years in front. What do you hope Whit Friday, and particularly Whit Friday Delph, holds up?
Delph, I honestly, it's not glory seeking. It's perfect at the moment.
Don't say, finish there.
It's one band every 6 minutes for 8 hours. We can't get it any shorter than that.
Well,
80 bands in the night, and it's just like a conveyor belt.
It is. Listen, you don't understand walking down the street and playing in the mornings. I mean, people know a little about it, and the atmosphere around the stand. People from Delph and Joe, people that have never heard a band in their life, they're loving it. Well, I'll make sure when you and Mary have gone, there will be a trophy donated to you. Bob, thank you for your time. Okay, you're an absolute star.
Cheers, Bill.
Thank you. Okay, God bless.
Phil Rastoff, very famously filmed here in 1995. Okay. Why Delph, and how was the band involved?
They actually chose Delph to do a lot of filming. In fact, at one time we were like at the centre for the crew.
Right, okay.
And there was a lot of work that went on, a lot of research. Obviously, the Whit Friday committee here is based, and the chairman Bob, and so they got a lot of ideas. And obviously, they did film elsewhere.
Bob did have a starring role. I think he was on the credits, apparently,
absolutely,
which he tells me every time I see him.
Yeah, but it was great because we got to meet the crew. Although on the day of filming, I wasn't here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Phil. I'm so sorry.
We had done a concert a couple of weeks before, and it's really, we tend to forget these. The cast was phenomenal.
It was
absolutely huge. When you think of the people that were in that, we did a concert here, and Pete Postlethwaite, of course, played Danny.
Yeah.
And we talk about, we sort of think these actors just go along, and turn up and take the money and go home. He came to our concert and he was watching the conductor who's asking
really okay
and certain things about, and that was the sort of detail they immersed themselves into what we were doing. They were fantastic with the band.
Brilliant.
And obviously, the band that was made up of a lot of Grindthorpe players and other players too. But the fact that they used local bands to be that and used obviously very, very authentic, using in terms of scenery and the actual shots that everybody will remember. And so they were fantastic. They really entered into it. And
it didn't rain though, Phil. That's not typical of the Whit Friday.
No, exactly. It was good. And it's strange, Ewan McGregor. He was playing tenor horn. He used to play French horn.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he used to play French horn years ago. But we've got pictures of him just walking up the street with a cigarette in his hand and a tenor horn in his hand. And again, I think that was getting into the character, that he was portraying. But it was a stellar cast. But they were all, I have to say, really welcoming to the band and really, really immersed themselves.
Brilliant.
We have some fantastic pictures of the cast taking part with the band, and we're lucky. Since then, obviously, the stage version has been very popular, and we've done it several times.
Wow!
And it still resonates with audiences today, and it remains popular. Obviously, everyone recognises the music.
Yes.
And it's just a phenomenal success. But it was great for us to be involved, and we keep enjoying any publicity that comes our way out of it as well. It's great.
The film Brassed Off is a 1996 British comedy drama written and directed by Mark Herman and starring Pete Postlethwaite, Tara Fitzgerald and Ewan McGregor. It has been generally very positively received for its role in promoting brass bands and their music. The film's reputation has grown considerably since its initial release. Brassed Off is ranked 85th on the British film industry list of top 100 British films. After the release of the film, there were mixed reviews from the banding circles. Several commentators voiced their concerns about portraying the banding community as drunken, raucous yobs. Famously, the Whit Friday contest scene was filmed in Delph on Monday the 23rd of October 1995 and not on Whit Friday contest day. There was a starring role in the film for Bob Rogers.
Hello, welcome Phil Goodwin, the conductor of the band for 5,000 years, 45 years and still counting. Phil, we know all about this. Why I've pinned you down this evening, if that's okay, is I'm going to talk a little bit about the march and some of the sort of secrets of it, really. I mean, I can imagine conductors in the next 50 years using this as a blueprint for their secret to success. So, first, you've chosen a march by William Rimmer, Ravenswood. I've gone through the band. I think everyone's march favourite is Knight Templar, but Ravenswood. Why Ravenswood?
I think Whit Friday, there's always the top half a dozen marches that always get played, and Knight Templar and Ravenswood, I think, are up there with those great marches. Rimmer, of course, was a great writer of marches, and I think that Ravenswood suits us here very well. It's got lots of action for everybody, but it's approachable as a march, whereas maybe one or two of the others, they've got technical challenges that might be a little bit challenging to overcome, especially over an entire evening. Yes. And so you've got to think about that, what can we get through? How are we still going to be playing, after 6 or 7 contests? We really want to be, still playing with a great deal of quality. So, and I think it's a march that a lot of the band like. They're
That's fair, yes.
But of course, like anything else, everyone's got their favourites, and whatever I choose, someone's going to say, well, you should have done something else. I just thought that Ravenswood is a very, very strong march. And I think along with that, it's one that we can do a good job with.
Fantastic. Well, like I said, I want to go into the music a little bit. We've listened to a rehearsal, and I want to pick some points, really. And you've given me 5 key points to look for March. Your sort of secrets of success to get us in the top 10 for every contest. I like this, okay? So, number 1, the start. Why is the starting?
Well, I think like anything else, I mean, if you're playing a test piece, normally speaking, test piece for us is anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
And so you've got the opportunity to play lots of styles, and if one section doesn't go so well, you can recover it.
Yeah.
But with a march, you've got about 4 minutes. And so you've got to set yourself off right from the very beginning. And what Rimmer does in this, he has some rhythmic identities.
Beautiful segue. Number 2, rhythm. Okay, so what you say, number 1, set it off. Show, basically the togetherness of the band we're good. We've set off on the right foot, and you say, okay, the rhythm, and it's quaver, crotchet, basically. So it's bom bom, and that's repeated several times. I'm sorry to spell it out. Explain that.
Yeah, like I say, right from the very first 4 bars, everybody in the band plays exactly the same rhythm,
right.
And it's like a big fingerprint.
Yeah.
And so what we want to try and do, like all good composers, what they do, they take that idea and they run with it, and we keep hearing hints of it throughout the piece.
Right.
And so this rhythm is quite unusual. It's what I call a syncopated rhythm. So the longer note doesn't come on the first beat of the bar. We have a short note, then a long note, and we want to keep finding that, and particularly the last quaver in the bar, because it picks us up into the second bar,
right.
And then so on and so forth. And throughout the piece, it's a feature, so it's something that we want to show. And of course, that means that everybody in the band has got to be aware.
Yeah.
We've all then got to play the same length, the same style, and so that we want to make sure that we're impressing the adjudicators, so that at least he thinks, oh yes, they have looked at it and they've recognised what's there.
No, it's true.
Yeah. So I will do this in sections and rehearse. Obviously, we did a good one. We've just got to make sure, as we said right from the start, the first 4 bars are absolute unison rhythm. We've all got the same notes, and we've all got the same rhythm, and so it must be unified. Okay, and we heard ourselves that 1 or 2 people are overhanging a little bit too much. I want the length, as we said, of the longer notes to be good, but not so long that it takes us into another beat. Beginning. I'm probably only going to go back first 4 bars or so. But really, rumpa is 1, 2.
I'd like to just explore a little of this. Certainly Black Dyke, when they play the march, they make sure they've got signature moments in the march to do that. Oldham Lees certainly do. I've talked about that. You've rewritten a bit of music in this one, okay? Excuse the singing, but there's a little part that goes, da, 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 da. You've rewritten this to, and why have you done that?
Well, I haven't exactly rewritten it. The problem is with a lot of marches, of course, they go back a long way.
Yes.
William Ribble wrote this in the early 1900s.
Yes.
And so the editing, the printing, we've got 3 different versions here.
Yes.
And of course, each version is different. And we have a lot of tradition. Ravenswood used to be Brighouse's march for many years before they changed to Knight Templar. Black Dyke have always played Knight Templar, for example, and other bands have their own signature march. Yeah. And so what they do, they make those marches their own.
Yes.
And Brighouse play in a particular way that section. And I was looking at one edition of this, where the articulation, where those slurred notes are slightly different.
Right.
And if I look down the score, because
it's very
rare we get a score.
Correct. I've not heard of a score before.
And we get a match. But that rhythm we have right at the beginning, da-dee, da-da,
yes,
that is going on underneath.
Oh, right.
Whilst that bits you were singing are slurred. And so to me, it makes sense to go da-dee-ah-dee-da-da.
Yeah.
Because we're saying that and bar. And then we say it lots of other times in the piece. 1, 2, 1, 3. Now, when we get to a couple of bars before D, what is paramount is the tuning. Okay, and we know la, bam, bam is everybody. However, 2 before D, I do want to finish this off with everybody up, yum, ba-da, bam.
And this really, it's interesting. You put start, and I'm going to go through your top tips, and they all relate to the start, in my opinion. 3, balance.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is the same in any piece of music.
Yeah.
We have to find the lines. And there's one particular section in this, which is a busy section, because he's got effectively 4 big things going on.
Yeah.
We've got the basses have their tune, the trombones have counter melody, the cornets, soprano have got a very
flowery part, yes.
wild part. So, and everybody's marked the same dynamic.
Yeah.
And of course, every player, and I'm no different.
Listen to me.
I think my part is the most important.
Yeah, I certainly do that, Phil, as you know.
And I get that. But the problem we have is that sometimes to make the music, to have that clarity, we have to sort of understand a little bit perhaps which is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say that the other parts aren't important.
Of course.
However, what we've got to do is to try and get that clarity so that the main lines that I feel, as you know, I've given them a sort of order of preference.
Yes, yeah. So what's the order of preference? Who's the most important?
In that section, it's the basses, then the trombones, then the top half of the band.
Yes.
And then the middle people, we've got the sort of accompanying parts.
Yes.
So we want to have a sort of clarity as to where the lead is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just release slightly the tied note of the second bar. Not going to so it's a short quaver, yeah? Is 1, 2. But I'd like the second bar to be more sparkly. Quavering. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. A bit of cover that's going on, which is good for the long note. Make sure though that that note doesn't go so far that I lose the quaver. Bum beam, dega dega deem, bum bum. Here we go. Overall, tuning is good, apart from the last 2 bars. Here we go. Let's sort that out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That's the idea, and then keep the style. 2 and.
Tuning, that's self-explanatory. This, and there's some particular moments. Okay,
this is one of the real challenges in this march.
Yes.
We said with the rhythmic thing at the beginning, everyone plays the same rhythm.
Yes.
They also play the same notes.
Right. I didn't know that.
And there's a couple of other little parts where we run into what we call unison or in octaves, and of course that makes it very difficult because we have the whole range. We can have 4 or 5 octaves going at one point, where everybody playing the same notes. And so it's really important that they listen to that tuning.
I know what you mean by this.
Sometimes they're not always great notes either. They're awkward notes because it goes chromatically, it goes by semitones.
Yes.
And so getting those in tune, there's a passage I done, bim, bam, 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 through there. That's really, really difficult.
It is, and unfortunately I thought by just putting the vowels down, that gives them the note. Unfortunately, not quite that, is it?
No, that's right. And of course we know the issues, across the band, because we have different pitches in the band of E flat and B flat.
Yes.
And because, without getting too technical, but, certain harmonics are sharp in one and flat on another.
Yes.
And so this is where people have to be aware. It's not always about pulling slides or it's being aware, I'm a bit sharp on that note.
Yes.
This instrument's a bit flat on that note.
No,
so the tuning, those are the critical moments because they are standout.
And finally, the last thing you put, style. What do you mean by that?
I think it's important that when you play any piece of music, you try and think what the composer wanted.
Yes.
And it's about having a collective idea. And so I want to make sure that the band are aware of the style to play. So that means everyone thinking about the length of the notes, the articulation we use. We've got contrast and style in the middle section where it's smoother.
Yes.
I want to show that. Equally then, we want the other music to sound as it is. It's a march. I happen to think this is quite a happy march.
I know what you mean.
And so I want, there's times where there's some marches that are quite heavy.
And yes, I would use that word.
Certain things, and they want that weight.
Yes.
This one, I feel, is a more... some of the tunes, I imagine just walking down the street and whistling.
It's like a flowing river, I would exactly, and others are like cutting trees down. Yeah. And I know exactly, but they're both pleasant to listen to if played well, but it's different styles.
But it's important that the band understand what they're doing. Are they flowing or are they chopping? and so what we want is to make sure that everyone's got that idea. And of course, it doesn't matter. Some conductors might think, "Oh, I want that longer." Some might say, "I want it shorter." That doesn't matter.
Yes.
That's an opinion.
Yes.
And they're all equally valid. But what is important that throughout the band, that the band, especially when they've got these unison passages where they're all playing the same rhythms, or even when they're accompanying, they understand what the style is we're trying to portray.
Yes.
Because the soloist can play really well. But if the accompaniments
it doesn't show.
It kills it. Yeah. So I've used the word a few times in rehearsal about sparkle. Little things that I think should really.
One thing that hit me, I mean, the last couple of rehearsals, is the basses have got basically crotchets, so it's bomb, bomb, bomb,
right, yeah.
And that doesn't work. Bomb, bomb, bomb. It's almost springing off.
And of course, the thing about that is, we look at music, and conductors always say, play what's on the clock. And then they say, oh, well, when we start off, there were quavers, now they're crotchets.
Yes.
And yes, they do want to carry a little bit more weight. But again, if they're playing in a completely opposite style to the rest, so we do want them to show the contrast between the first section and that second section. But equally, they have a very important role there because they're the people who keep the music going forward.
Yes.
And as soon as they start to play too long in there, then obviously the music goes backwards.
Yep.
So that's what I mean about collective style, where everyone's understanding what we're trying to do. And everyone's trying very hard, as I said before. Everybody wants to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But it's also difficult because, like we said at the beginning, we've only got about 4 minutes.
It is. It's 4 minutes 20 or 30. Yeah, I'm surprised. It's shorter than I realised. Yes,
right.
It is.
And like I said, if you've got a test piece that changes quite a lot and you've got 15 minutes, it's okay. But so within what we do, the concentration level for the band has to be so high right from the word go.
And it's not easy.
And it isn't. And the other thing is, of course, it's relatively easy to do it once, but you've got to be doing it 5, 6, 7 times, or how many, and keep on doing the same things. And so, it's a challenge, and that's the whole point. It's called contest.
Well, let's hope we do very. Phil, thank you for that.
No problem.
Hello, good afternoon, gentlemen. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Here we are with 3 stalwarts of the band. Okay. From as we're looking at the television. Okay. Would you like to introduce yourselves on the left?
My name's Phil Shaw.
And how long have you been playing with the band, Phil Shaw?
I started originally in 1980, just after they won the national championships in the 4th section. I did have a couple of years out through to personal commitment, shall we say, but I've always played for Delph Band after leaving school then.
And what instrument do you play, Phil Shaw?
Originally was E-flat bass, but ended up on B-flat because I've done everything wrong probably.
And what age were you when you started?
19.
Wow. So the middle one here, the clown of the trio, okay? Charles Clown.
I'm Charles Lukowski, that's the usual spelling. And I was with been with the band since 1975, so that's 50 years.
Okay, and the instrument you play is the most destructive instrument of the brass band.
Well, when I first started in the youth band, I was given a cornet, believe it or not.
Oh my goodness!
Like this for a week.
That explains
it. Soon found out it wasn't suitable.
And the young man on the right-hand side of the television, introduce yourself, sir.
I'm Keith Palmer. I've been here 51 years. Started on euphonium mainly because he tried to give me a trombone, and one of my sisters had already got a trombone. I wasn't playing the same as my sister, and the other sister had been given a tenor horn. So he said the only thing we've got left is a euphonium, and that's the only thing that persuaded me to come to the band, because I'd heard one played about a year earlier and liked the sound of it. Asked me how it was.
Okay, well, it's a lovely start. So, putting this sort of video together, I'm very aware it's a special year for Delph Band. It's our 175th year, and I've yes, well, some would say, and I've put yourselves together. You're one of the old stalwarts of the band. You've been in the band and seen many changes. What I'd like, and let's start with you, Phil. Okay. Just some highlights of the 200 years you've been playing for that. Sorry, the little time you've been with the band. Some highlights.
The biggest one for me was Harrogate, when we won the national championships for the third section.
Wow.
Wembley Arena was another big one, and a tour around London. Well, a free tour that was, because the coach driver was familiar with the area, so we had a free coach tour.
Oh, wonderful.
There's many highlights. It's just trying to remember them all over all the years. But another good one was coming second at one of the Whit Friday contests.
Wow.
Which were
that was one of the right.
Upper Mill.
No,
it was Grenicers
where we won.
We won Grenicers and we came second.
Having our name underneath Brighouse and Rastrick on the trophy.
Oh, right, very good. Okay, and Charles, the same question. Any highlights for you?
Right at the beginning, to start with, highlight was actually what inspired me to join the band.
Right.
I lived at the time all the way from the band, and I was dragged to one Friday before when I was a young lad, and seeing the processions, the smell of the fish and chips.
Yes.
Shop, the pea shooters, and it's something out of the ordinary.
Just explain to people. I mean, you say we all know this. Explain what the pea shooters are.
Your worst enemy.
It's a tube. You could get big tubes for.
So why is it specific to Delph?
I'm not sure if it was specific.
It was. Yes, it was.
I think it could have been other colleges around.
Yeah, it was sort of a tradition. They even used to sell bags of black peas, black peas on the high street, and what all the kids used to do was get a bag of peas and a pea shooter and fire them at the band as a match.
Rattling the instruments.
And most of the instruments in those days had little tiny dents in them when they were hit, but it got phased out due to the fact that one or two of the band may have threatened one or two of the youngsters. Yeah. But I think we threatened to throw them in the river over the bridge.
Well, I can add. I mean, I heard about Delph was a sort of prime one suspect. I remember playing many years ago. I didn't believe it until I felt this terrible stinging in my leg and the side of my face, and that was actually during playing the march. So it's not walking down the street. Yeah, the rest is history. And you, Keith, I mean, you've been around a lot as well, and you know, I mean, you've had some star moments as well. I mean, so anything standing out for yourself in your playing career?
Personally, not really, because I don't really consider it, I don't do it for myself. I play for the band, you know what I mean. So I don't really have any big highlights. I mean, obviously, I got invited up to Brighouse for a long time.
Wow.
Which went.
Did they mistake you? The uniform, they mistook you for Brighouse? All right.
It went okay, but as soon as I walked in, they said, "What's that you're carrying?" I said, "A euphonium." I said, "Oh, you won't be needing that." And they gave me a baritone. And then at the end of the night, they said, "Was that all right?" And I said, "Well, it was okay, yeah." So they never invited me back again.
Well, and then you've been here ever since. Well, you've added. May I ask you a question? It seems more than the brass band, Delph Band, and I've only been a relatively newcomer. it seems more like a family. Could anyone comment on that? What you think?
It is, for me,
Okay.
it is my family.
Explain why.
Well, like everybody in life, you have some bad experiences.
Yes.
And band has always been there to support.
Yes.
Phil's been like a brother in a sense.
Phil is the conductor, yeah.
And he's been there and he supports everybody who has any issues, you know you can go talk to.
Like a collection of oddballs.
That's the well side.
Yeah.
All getting on very well.
Well, I can't remiss, and this video is centered around our 175th anniversary and Whit Friday, which is a week away now. Okay, the excitement's building. I've been an outsider. Everyone talks about it's like Christmas. I think it's bigger than Christmas around here. It certainly is a bank holiday for the. I mean, having said that, you can't get out of the villages, to be fair. So it is a bank holiday.
It used to be a bank holiday generally throughout the
Right.
area.
Okay.
In Tameside and Saddleworth.
Right.
Schools used to close.
The
Did
schools
they?
still do. I think the schools in
The
Saddleworth
schools
and
will
Tameside
shut
still
for
do.
a day
Oh.
because of the event. But it had used to be a bank holiday at one time, but it got phased out in the 70s or 80s, wasn't it? Something
Right.
like that.
Okay, gentlemen, a question for you. Things have changed over the years, and playing a little march and playing some hymns around the village in the morning and playing the evening Whit Friday march as structured as a brass band contest has changed. We're looking now 6, 7, at the very most 8 contests because of, it's getting more difficult to travel around, the coaches are getting bigger, etc., etc. Would someone like to explain things weren't always like that?
No, they weren't. We used to do all the same things in the morning. So march through the village at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, yeah.
Then we used to do the church service. Then we used to march all the way around the village.
You're looking at 4 or 5 miles. I know that because I've seen the taco, yeah.
Yeah. Finish again with a church service in the village.
Yeah.
Which actually, I need to mention, Phil's arranged a hymn tune with top D's in for the euphonium.
Oh, and that's at the end of, yeah.
But years ago, we used to then go on and do a 2-hour concert in the afternoon over on the playing fields where there were kids' games and all sorts going on.
Wow.
Then. And then we'd get together in the evening, and in those days we'd do 12 contests. We'd do all the ones in Saddleworth and quite a lot in Tameside as well.
Wow. I'd just like to, this is a bit historical for me, okay, and I've heard this legend that you always used to be the last band in Delph, and it finishes at 12 o'clock now, obviously for police and council restrictions. Can you gentlemen just explain it wasn't always like that and you were always kept to be last band, and what time would you play?
Well, we played at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, half past 1.
Half past 1.
Yeah. We've arrived here we had to be in Delph for 10 o'clock.
Yes.
And then we're hanging around till 1:30 to play tonight's dance. By that time, there was nobody left on the street. And it just seemed, we just got to the stage where we said, this is pointless, us hanging around for such a long time and playing to nobody. So we changed it and made it our last contest.
Yes.
Until last year.
Yes.
When, quite controversially for some of us, who've
yes.
been doing it for years,
yes.
We played in Delph on the way through to Denshaw.
Yes.
And so we didn't make it our last contest. And we actually played in the daylight.
Yeah. People can listen to the band.
So many people were there.
Yes.
It actually worked.
It's interesting. I understand. A lot of stalwarts, and I'm sure 1 or 2 voices of you, including yourselves, said we'd like to play last. But I think the proof of the pudding was you're there at 9 o'clock. Yeah. The families were there, and we were well received.
We have to move with the times. You can't just say, "Oh, this is what we've always done."
Yes.
You've got to change things.
Well, I'd just like to add one thing. Thank you, gentlemen. I played with a guy last year that came and helped us out on E-flat bass. He came from Cornwall. He'd played with sort of local bands, but not a Saddleworth band. And he kept on saying, yeah, I've played all these Whit Friday Saddleworth venues. I said, it's different playing with Delph Band. It's different playing in Delph. Yeah. All the way round. And remember, I had 4 hours of this. And to see a grown man in tears after we finished playing, it was quite emotional. Yes, it was. Yeah.
Really if you're watching this, Dave.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Dave from Cornwall. Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Expectations then. So, so now then, so let's call it now. Before the contest, I'm interested. Keith. Oh, okay.
Well, I'll go on. My ambition for Whit Friday
yes.
is always to beat all the other bands.
Correct, and mine as well.
Obviously, some are in higher sections.
Yes.
But to beat some of the local bands is my ambition. And if you can take any big scalps as well, like we have done in the past, where we came, I think we came something like 12 places above Black Dyke at one contest.
I can see you remember all these things 100 years ago. I like it, which is good. It's called selected memory. Okay, yeah. Charles, yourself, what? I mean, I echo Keith completely. It's the local bands I'd like to beat.
That's important. I want to finish as high as possible against all the bands.
Yeah.
And just always go out there and do our best. And, try and get as many prizes and money, trophies and money as possible.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
And make our village proud.
That's well said. I'd like to finish on that note, but there is a young man at the end there. Okay, to finish off.
I can ditto that.
I know. It's well said, Charles. Certainly, I mean, my selective memory of playing with this band is to beat the local bands. But may I add, it's making the village proud. And don't forget last year when we actually beat the number one band in the world, Foden's, and one of the very best bands in the top 20 in the world, Oldham Lees at Lydgate. Okay, thank you so much, gentlemen. Have a lovely evening. I wish you all the best.
The final rehearsal is on the Thursday, the day before the Whit Friday contest. The atmosphere in the village is growing with the band club busy with anticipation. The final tweaks are made and then the band performs a final run-through in front of the village locals and all is ready for the next day.
Okay, well done. Hello, ladies. Let me introduce everybody here. This is the glamorous section of the band. Okay, somebody tell me. Okay, Lorraine, if you can just introduce yourself, Chantel. Okay, Susie, Jess, just explain. Okay, what your names are and what instrument you play. Lorraine.
I'm Lorraine Tobin. Recently gone on to third cornet from Google. I've been in the band 21 years.
Wow.
Joined the youth band when I was 10 and
this is live. Chantel. Okay.
I'm Chantel Shaw. I am second one down on the front row, play cornet, and I've been in the band just about 10 years now.
Right, so a newbie really.
Yeah.
Okay, Susie.
I'm Susie Hardy. I play second cornet. I think I've been in the band 15 years now.
Oh, you don't know where.
About that.
Okay, and Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess Sheldon. I've been in the band 15, 16 years. Yeah, something like that. And I play piano cornet.
All right. So, obviously, that's another Whit Friday. You've done several. I mean, it's very special to us, but I think this is extra special. This is Delph's 175th year. So, I'm going to ask you all, and take it in turns, why is it special to you, and how are you going to celebrate, really?
I think it's special just having that amount of history behind the band, within the community as well, and also I think looking at the band as a whole organisation, so thinking about the youth band that we've got, little kids from the age of 4 or 5 right up into people who've been here, as long as Lorraine's been here. You don't really get that in many places, so for me it's that sort of special family feel.
And it's very much, I understand I'm an outsider, it's very much like Christmas all over again, really. Probably Ben, yes, I've heard that as an outsider. Anybody else anything to add? Why this one's more special than anything else we've had? Are you looking forward to it? Is this just going to be another one? Right, yeah.
Look forward to it every year.
What's it going to be like? I mean, Lorraine, you've had history for this. You've obviously starred in a very famous documentary. What's it going to be like when you walk down that high street? What are the emotions?
It's the proudest thing you'll ever feel. I'm not kidding. And every single year I have tears streaming down my face.
I will definitely get footage of that. I just want to touch on sort of a point that's never discussed really. You don't really just turn up and play. There's a little bit of preparation before this. Okay, and this has been going on certainly 6 months before we got to this point. I chatted to Bob earlier a little bit, goes into Whit Friday. Can someone, I mean, Jess, you've done a little bit recently. I know Emma's, not here, but she's put a little bit in. What sort of work have you done before this day comes?
Each year?
Well, this year in particular.
So there's always a lot of work that goes into Whit Friday. Lorraine's booking the coach, and
yes,
we've got to pick which march we're going to play. Someone's got to pick a route. There's all sorts that goes on. But this year as well, we're trying to celebrate by doing things like having a banner in front of the band.
Yes.
So as we go around all the villages, they can all see that it's our 175th year. We're actually playing something a bit different on our march down, which is
secret. Is that right?
It's
secret. Yes.
Secret.
Okay. Yeah.
Not been done before by Delph.
Yeah, we're quite traditionalist,
yes.
So it's quite a move for us. We've got pin badges
Excellent.
that we're selling. You can get them in the band club for £5.
Very good.
So we'll all be wearing our pin badges, and I just think we're all really proud to be part of the band at this moment as well. It's great.
Well, Chantel, I mean, you're the sort of the newest recruit. So can you give sort of a
10 years? 10 years.
Yeah, not these lot lifers. Okay. So yourself, been a special year. What does it mean to you? Okay, and Delph Band. These obviously they've got the T-shirt. It's a bit like a piece of rock. If you cut them in half, they'll say Delph. Okay, I'm very much really an outsider, but I've got it. You probably, from an outsider, you'll be able to explain it better than they can. Too close to it in a way.
I think just to sort of add on to what everyone else has said, it's very much a community sort of spirit kind of thing. Everyone gets involved. It's really sort of something celebrated, not just within Delph, but within other bands celebrating with us to do that. So we've got a lot of joint concerts coming up. We're hoping to have some parties going on and some other different ways of celebrating as well. So it's just really that community spirit and that really connection that brings all of us together again.
I think to sum it up, Delph Brass Band is a bit more than the brass band. It's Delph. It's Saddleworth. It's part of that's very good. I don't want to keep you too long. Thank you for that. One question. Okay, we've played Ravenswood for several years. It's almost our signature tune now. Just starting with Jess. Your favourite march?
Oh, you know this. Knight Templar.
Okay. Susie?
Knight Templar.
Yeah, Knight Templar.
Okay, thank you. Maybe next year.
Maybe.
Thank you. You take care. Thank you for your time. Whit Friday morning, 8:30. The calm before the storm. Everyone's getting readiness. Hub of preparation. This road will be closed in half an hour. Very exciting. There we go. Knock-off point. That's where all the bands stop playing. After they walk down the high street, all the guys are getting ready then to control the massive crowd. The iconic band club. There's a young man getting ready to play. Good morning, young man.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, there we go, Delph Band Club. Wonder what's in here. Carnage. The youth band, hangers on. Everyone's preparing to play later on.
The morning of the Whit Friday is both special for the youth and senior band. with special guests lining up to march down Delph High Street to play Hail Smiling Morn, the traditional march to herald the Feast of Pentecost, which falls on the 7th Sunday after Easter and is an important feast day in the Christian church. When the library clock strikes 9, the march begins. Delph Band finally arrive in Delph village after many hours of contesting. And what an enthusiastic reception they receive. This is the first time the band has not played a traditional street march in their history. Finally, at around 9:30 p.m. the band take to the stage, and what a reception they receive. Congratulations Delph and Philip Goodwin on a fantastic day.
Thank you, band number 53. Time for a pub now, I think.